Hi, my lovelies. It is time for some holiday art. Today's art project is inspired by Vincent van Gogh's Sunflowers. Van Gogh's paintings of sunflowers are among his most famous artwork. He created them while living in France in 1888 and 1889. Van Gogh painted a total of 5 large canvases with sunflowers in a vase using only 3 shades of yellow paint and nothing else. This was his way of demonstrating that it was possible to create an image with many values without any loss of eloquence. Let's take a closer look at what we're creating today. We're going to create this Vincent van Gogh inspired vase of poinsettias. Notice how I've used a very limited color palette, yet it still looks like these flowers have some depth and dimension. That's because I used the element of art called value to create this. So let's look at how to go about this project. Step 1 is to sketch out our vase. I'm choosing to create a vase that looks very similar to Van Gogh's. You can choose to make your vase a different shape if you'd like. Next step, I'm drawing 3 circles on my page for my 3 flowers. Then I'm going to fill in each of those 3 circles with a series of smaller circles. Next, I'm going to create 6 sets of parallel lines surrounding each of my circles. I'm going to add a shape that looks kind of like a spade on the end of each of these sets of parallel lines. Now in between each set of spade shapes, I'm going to create my smallest petals. I find it much easier to keep a consistent shape of my petals and size if I rotate my page. Next step is to draw our second set of petals. Notice how they're a little bit bigger than the first set. And at this point, you need to start thinking about which flower is in the front and which one is in the back. Next step, we're going to add a third set of petals. Again, really thinking about which flower is in the front and which one is in the back. That's going to help us figure out where each petal needs to go, and if we need to erase some impossible lines, we're going to do that at this time. After our petals are drawn, we're going to scope out where we want to put our leaves, making sure to create balance. That means we don't want a whole bunch of leaves on one side and no leaves on the other side. We want to spread them out nicely. Now, when I'm creating the shape of my leaves, I'm thinking about a triangular shape. I want to make sure that the part of the leaf closest to the flower is the widest, and near the tip of the leaf, it is nice and pointy. After I'm finished my drawing, I'm going to go over all of my pencil lines using a fine point Sharpie. Don't forget to erase those pencil lines. Now let's talk about coloring. I'm going to start in the center using a yellow. So I'm coloring each of those tiny little circles with a beautiful shade of yellow. Next, I'm going to start with my red and pressing down with a medium pressure, I'm coloring in those parallel lines and the little spade shapes. I'm also going in between my yellow circles to fill in those areas as well. Now this is where we really need to focus on the pressure that we're using in order to create value. I'm going to go around each of my petals using a pretty hard pressure. That means I'm pressing down pretty hard with my crayon, which is going to give me the darkest shade of red. Next, I'm going to trace around each of my petals using medium pressure, so pressing down a bit lighter, which is giving me a lighter value. And finally, I'm going to add my lightest value by tickling my page, pressing super duper lightly. Look at how much depth and dimension I was able to create using one red crayon. Follow the same instructions for all 3 flowers. We're going to do the exact same thing with our leaves. Outline using a dark value, add some lighter values inside. When it comes to the vase, you want to make sure that you are coloring using your darkest value on the outside of the vase. And as you come in towards the center, you're using lighter values and lighter values. Now I'm choosing to make my vase yellow so that it looks similar to Vincent van Gogh's vase, but you can make your vase any color you would like. Also, I'm having some fun with layering some colors. I noticed on Vincent van Gogh's vase, the top portion looks like it almost has some oranges mixed in with it, whereas the bottom part looks like it has some browns mixed in with it. So I'm just having some fun overlapping my colors here to try to mimic what I see in his art. Don't forget to add your name to your vase. From here, you can think about a background for your art. For me, I've decided to draw a simple table, so I'm just creating a wood grain pattern here. If you'd like to do something similar, just remember to make your grains really close together near the top of the table and space them out near the front of the table. I'm also using the idea of value by pressing hard at the top of the table, and then I'm pressing lighter and lighter and lighter as I get to the bottom of my page. Now I decided to create a simple purple wall behind my flowers. And there you have it. That's all there is to this beautiful Vincent van Gogh inspired poinsettia. Hope you have an awesome time creating this. Bye for now.